Family Pizzeria looking for a security guard to work a night shift, 12 to 6 a.m. Monitor cameras, ensure safety of equipment, and animatronic characters RAC. If you're wondering what tablet I'm using the Star G430S, which is very inexpensive, and if you're a serious artist, I don't really recommend it, but it is good for like stuff like this, and rhythm games.
It's good for small-time use of a pen you need to connect to your computer for digital signatures, and for $20, this thing's a hell of a steal.
Back when I got it a few years ago, it was like 40. It was double the price. That wasn't exactly worth it, but now it's actually really good price.
It's on sale for 20, but it's usually like 35, I think.
Not sponsored,
no,
though.
Something like it. I don't know. It's a good price for what it is.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if you flip the camera fast enough, you can actually stop the fan. I know that's pretty common knowledge, but I'm sure there are people out there that still don't know that. It also works for the pumpkin. If you're playing this game on Halloween, there will be a pumpkin on your desk and the Halloween lights on the top. And if you flip your camera fast enough, that pumpkin will just disappear. I expected this to be rather uncomfortable to play, but no. This isn't even one of those tablets that are like, has its own screen. No, this is one of those that like, for my uses, I'm not a professional artist. I think it's actually pretty good. So Bonnie's moved from his show stage, and my power isn't actually, my power is pretty good, but it is 2 a.m. on night 1. If I get Golden Freddy appears this run, that would be crazy. Did you know if you're looking at 2B, he can actually show up while you're looking at it, so it can just go from completely normal to all of a sudden Golden Freddy poster. It's been a pretty chill night, only Bonnie's gone. Bonnie's only moved one camera, there's only one beat. Something interesting I found with Foxy is on FNAF 3 Night Phantom Foxy, is that it can actually show up on night 2. Last night, I saw a video like deconstructing FNAF 3 and how all the AI works. And I saw that, like, hey, Phantom Foxy has a 1 in 1,000 chance of showing up on night 2 when you flip up your camera. Like, huh, that's interesting. I just so happened to be like in between the process of recording night 1 and 2 for the good ending of mobile version, the mobile version of FNAF 3. Literally right after that video, I started playing night 2 for the good ending, like recording. This is an upcoming video. I literally got a Phantom Foxy appearance on night 2. At 2 a.m. I have never seen Phantom Foxy on night 2 before, like, in my entire life. I thought he didn't show up until night 4, actually. The video said that night 2, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance every single camera flip. I think it was night 3, it was 1 in 50. Night 4, 1 in 25. I don't know about night 5 and 6. I think night 5 and 6 is the same, but I think it was maybe 1 in 10, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. 6 a.m. Hey Chico, how you doing? A lot of people also don't seem to realize that Foxy can move on night 1, which I can understand why, because I don't think Phone Guy mentioned Foxy until night 2. Now the reason Foxy moves on night 1 is because on every single night, no matter what, even custom night, at certain like time points, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever, a certain random number will be added to every AI value except for Freddy. And that's also the reason why they start moving if everyone's on 0 in custom night. What's up, Bonnie? No, he's already back, okay. That is very quick for night 2, because this night is usually the night where they just sit there and eat all your power. And that's probably exactly what Chica's gonna do. But I've been doing pretty good on power. 52%, and I don't know how long ago it turned 3. Bonnie was nice though, he left. It took a very long time to get to my door, and he left very quickly. Although him leaving quickly is also not exactly a positive, because that also means he can get into your office quicker. There's also a good indicator for if Foxy is like active. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Bonnie moving quickly can actually be a disadvantage, because he gets into your office really quickly. Oh well. There was an old glitch in the game where if you get jump scared, you can actually keep flipping the camera over and over again and never die. Are you very knowledgeable about the FNAF lore?
Nope.
I'm gonna somewhat teach you about the FNAF lore, at least what I know. In the theorist community, don't kill me if I get this so incredibly wrong. Because
I will.
the way I learned about the FNAF lore is I did a marathon of every single Matt Pet FNAF video. All of them. So at this point, I've watched every single one, and I know so much stuff has been retconned from the series. Here's my updated knowledge, my current knowledge. And if anyone does want to correct me in the comments, feel free to do so. I'd actually appreciate it. So, the very beginning, there was a, it was either a relative or it was William Afton, very young William Afton, sometime in the 30s. There was a singing, dancing bear, an attraction, because everyone there was really poor. William Afton was either William Afton or his relative. I'm just gonna say William Afton. Was very entertained by this funny dancing bear. He's like, huh. He got inspired for some reason, to make a franchise about it. He made a franchise to serve pizza and make robots that sing and dance around like that one bear did. It was called Freddy's Family Diner. And the bear was inspired by that, of course, that dancing bear. And he made him yellow to not get copyrighted by the original people. But then he designed his own character, which is a yellow bunny, and I just accidentally messed with the game window size. So
Yellow bunny.
right, it was yellow bunny. It's called Spring Bunny. They had this funny feature. They can operate automatically as robots, but they can also be controlled by humans. So there's a thing called spring locks that can actually hold back all of the internal components. So they can be held back so a person can fit inside the suits. However, spring locks can easily fail if they get moisture on them, and if they fail, they can unactivate basically. What was your question?
I know about spring locks, but here's the thing. Why did they make them so unreasonably strong? I don't think the electronics inside the bear would be that heavy for the spring locks to be able to pierce your body.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe they are. Maybe since it was like whatever time they were built, the 80s, maybe they'd have to be really heavy on them.
Although you gotta think, if that was in the 80s, right? Electronics were a lot more bulky, so I guess it does make sense you do something like really strong to hold electronics. So okay.
I'll never understand why moisture makes them reset back to animatronic mode. I will never know why. But basically, if someone's wearing them and I guess they breathe too heavily or sweat too much, they will completely penetrate every single part of their body until they literally bleed out. And in the FNAF 3 phone call, you'll hear them say, like, if that happens, make sure to get out of populated areas before bleeding out to not ruin the customer experience. So, after Freddy's Family Diner, this is what gets really rocky, basically. Here comes Henry. I could be wrong. I don't know when I'm not exactly sure when Henry shows up, but I knew he was a competitor to William Afton. Of course, he had Chica, and I don't know who else. But also, he's the one who owned Bonnie, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, obviously Chica, but also Freddy, which is a brown version, which is directly ripping off William Afton. And William Afton was not exactly happy about that. He's like, oh, come on, man.
That's no good.
I don't know what else. What did William Afton do about it? That I can't recall. William Afton wasn't happy. He did stump. Oh yeah, that's right. William Afton dressed up in a bunny suit. He lured them to the back, like a back room, and murdered them. And I think it was 5 children. One of them turned out to be Cassidy, which actually turns out to be Golden Freddy in the actual series of it. But in Ultimate Custom Night, Cassidy gets referred to as the one you should not have killed, and it's that face you sometimes see in like on the rare occasions, like constantly mocking you and watching William Afton smiling, but as he's in hell and he's getting tortured. But I skipped so much in that. Let's go back to Freddy Fazbear's.
Cassidy's the lady you can see in Fruity Maze, right?
I think so. I'm not too caught up in it, but what's up, Foxy? I think at some point, William Afton and Henry start a franchise together. Like they like merge into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. They ditched old Freddy's Family Diner name, basically to try to fix their reputation. Maybe this is where they got murdered. The kids got murdered. For whatever reason.
Well, Bite of 83, wasn't that Freddy Diner?
That was Fredbear's Family Diner, I think. Let me skip forward very far, even after FNAF 3. Like, all the way to Security Breach, alright? Where the Mega Pizzaplex opens. At some point, William Afton dies. Who's the one to start up the franchise? Why does it come back after a pizzeria sim where Freddy Fazbear's is no longer a corporate entity? That's his wife. His wife was never dead. Just like Claire Afton. Claire Afton brought everything back. She wanted to bring her whole family back and build everyone as robots. Like, build everyone back. That's why William Afton comes back, and that helps the whole Gregory's robot theory, and that Glamrock Freddy is actually Michael Afton, he's actually helping Evan after what he did to the Evan with the bite of 87. That is why at the beginning of the game, Freddy starts glitching out because of a child, and the one actually controlling Vanessa, or Vanny, is Claire Afton, because Vanessa's basically the placeholder, permanent placeholder for Elizabeth. So she doesn't need to bring back Elizabeth. Like, notice the green eyes on Vanessa. Same eye color as Elizabeth Afton.
Now that makes me think,
what
if the child in Fruity Maze is Vanessa? Because she also has blue eyes and blonde hair.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Also, I got killed by Foxy. Yeah, it's been a while since I checked on it, but I don't think Vanessa is the girl from Fruity Maze. Because you never seen Vanessa have a dog. Yeah, the second part of Fruity Maze, it's like it's just her dead dog everywhere. I remember a while back, it was rumored that Mango was her dog. Especially since she's the first one, like, that Mango was the first one walking around in the, I can see why you say that, but there's not much to back it up.
Yeah, you're right. No, I was just basing off of the, colors of her eyes.
However, I guess there's, like, some type of evidence that you see a man in a Frank Bonnie costume standing behind her, which, if you stretch it really far, you could say that that's Glitch Trap. I'm sure there's so much proving that wrong. However, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not too invested into the lore, but this get interesting sometimes. There's a FNAF, there is in fact a FNAF 3 video on the way. It's where where I get the good ending on mobile. It's a pretty simple video. I wouldn't call it a guide in any way. It's more like a gameplay video. But I do have like tips on how to get it. These two videos should be back to back, so whatever. This has been very smooth for a drawing tablet, like very smooth experience for a drawing tablet. I would argue in some instances that it's better than the mouse. Overall, I prefer the mouse. So at some point, I'm going to do an episode of this, but on Security Breach. Well, that gets interesting because you're turning around with you turn around in a 360 degree motion. And the reason that gets interesting is because for some reason in Security Breach, you can only turn a certain degree, you can only turn a certain angle. Like, you can see this side, but not behind you. But there is some way they can actually keep looking around. And that's a mystery of how that happens. I don't know how that happens.
I can tell you. So, the drawing pad, the reason why it doesn't work is because the drawing pad, basically, if you look at your screen, how it's flat, and it's that one square, that's as far as you can go in that square. You can't go outside of it and anything. That's why you can't turn around and do 360.
Oh, yeah.
However, if you go off the edge of the tablet and then onto the other side without, getting the pen too close, it snaps to one side, and it messes with the game, and you can kind of turn around like that. It's really weird how it works.
Huh. Maybe it moves your mouse back before it can register. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, because it tries to snap to the same coordinate.
I got the crazy stories up now. Alright, she digs into the files of a FNAF 3 mobile port. Oh boy, that story? This was in like I think it was in like a canceled book or something like that. But she digs into the files of a FNAF 3 mobile port and finds a picture of like a building. I think it was like a warehouse building. So she finds the location of there, and it was somewhere in Utah. She goes to the physical location of that building and finds a gold Freddy suit with a dead corpse inside of it. Matt Pet made a video on that. which is the reason I knew about it in the first place. Maybe there was a ARG that never happened, and he wanted people to use the clues in that story to, have a fun ARG and find out what the actual answer to that is, or final answer to whatever that clue is. So what ended up happening is people went around like Utah or a certain place in Utah, I don't remember what place. People were actually calling the pizza places around, asking like about the FNAF lore, because people thought there was actually lore. There's lore at those pizza places. Those actual pizza places got so many spam calls they literally had to turn off their phone services for a day. That's because there were no specific boundaries for, no specific rules for ARGs. MatPat made a whole video about this. So he's trying to set some specific guidelines, and I think they were: do not ever cross private property. Oh yeah, that's right. I think people are also going into like abandoned restaurants there to try to find some clue. Don't harass any businesses. But MatPat had to basically stop the entire hunt. But
I lost track. Is this like trespassing stuff in like real life or just real game?
That's real life pizza places being called. I think it worked. I was never like too into that ARG. I didn't watch that until years after, so I'm not sure what the outcome of that was. So I assume people stopped.
It was probably like a Pokemon Go type thing, where it got really bad for a second and then the game just kind of died down.
I gotta actually focus here because I'm on night 4, 5 a.m.
Just die, it'll be fine.
Yeah, there we go. Night 4 complete, we're on night 5 now.
I remember when we would hear that there was a 6th night in FNAF and it was huge news, but you're just casually talking about a 7th night.
Foxy out. No. I hate it when I actually take a little bit too long to flip down the gun. Just on a pattern of what to check. Once you get to a rhythm in this game, you're good.
Is there any secret lore behind Chica's Magic Rainbow?
I don't think so. It can be difficult at first.
That's more of a secret behind completing it rather than lore. Yeah, no, it was a pain in the ass.
Minigame's not even that difficult. Like, it's not too bad.
It's like Dark Souls. Once you remember everything, it's really easy.
Once you remember it once, it's not hard to forget it. I mean, it's not easy to forget it. Just recently, I've been making my own mobile ports for the games. No, I'm not going to provide any download links, but I made my own FNAF World port. And something that I wish that in Click Team Fusion, the machine independent speed option worked for mobile too. It didn't seem to. The reason that's so important is, like, let's say that every frame your character needs to move like 10 pixels. Let's say your frame rate's really slow. Your character's going to move extremely slowly. But with machine independent speed on PC, that actually, like, it calculates how far you would have moved with all the frame losses. You'll actually move at the exact same speed even if you're running at a slow frame rate. Mobile didn't do that. I don't know why. So you're just moving really slowly. The path in Quick Team doesn't. That's not tied to the frame rate. So at the very end of Chica's Magic Rainbow on mobile, my phone runs it really badly. When you get to the very end, when you gotta jump over when you gotta run until you hear the sound of the logs, and the logs start like rushing towards you, and you gotta jump over on the platform, jump over the logs. On mobile, your character moves really slow, but the logs still move at the same speed. So on my phone, the logs will always catch up to you and kill you, no matter what.
Track phones are great. I remember in Verizon, they would have $15 track phones that were flip phones.
Right.
This is really funny.
I've kept Freddy in the kitchen camera for so long. His music box track finished, but now it just started back up again because there is an event in the game when his music box isn't playing. It'll actually start playing it again. Foxy can be really unpredictable in this game. I'll actually explain how he works right now. There will be there's a timer that counts down every frame, and it'll be a random value. So sometimes that value can be really short, and once that reaches 0, every few second intervals he can actually move. In those intervals, they don't start at when that reaches 0, so it doesn't it's not 4 seconds after it reaches 0. It's every 4 seconds since the level starts. If timing goes wrong, he can basically just move instantly, which that does happen sometimes. It'll be great if I can win this now. Let's go! 4% remaining. $120. That's a scam. At some point I'm gonna come back and do the 6th night and 7th night. I'll see you next time.